So hi everyone, welcome to the Stemming Up 2022 Q&A webinar. So first off, we'll be briefly summarizing the content of our informational webinar, which took place in May. Then we'll go over some frequently asked questions and host a Q&A panel with individuals who have been involved in Stemming Up.
Hello everyone. My name is Doina and I have founded Revolution because I realized that young women and gender non-conforming youth from diverse backgrounds interested in pursuing careers in STEM might need some extra support that did not exist at the time. I wanted to see more diversity included at the table because it was very important to me that everyone was included in the development of the future and not simply living it. Thus, the Stemming Up program, alongside many other incredible programs at Revolution, were created. All right, in collaboration with Canada's leading technology industry partners, such as Shopify, the Stemming Up program aims to equip girls and gender non-conforming youth in Ontario with the confidence, skills, professional portfolios, and networks to pursue fulfilling careers in STEM. Stemming Up works with partnering companies to develop to help participants explore the fundamentals of computer science. We also include industry professionals who facilitate sessions in the program and help inspire participants while allowing for learning opportunities as they are happening in the workforce today.
Well, the Stemming Up program takes place in 3 separate phases. The first phase will begin on July 25th, 2022 and runs for 4 weeks until August 19th. Each day, students will get to hear from industry professionals as morning guest speakers, covering topics such as UI/UX design, AI and machine learning, entrepreneurship, and more. Students will also learn JavaScript from coding instructors. At the end of the 4 weeks, the goal is to work with your team and pitch a technical solution to program challenges themed around the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Phase 2 takes place on separate dates during the period of September 12th to December 15, 2022. These sessions will include a speaker series with industry professional guests, as well as technical and behavioral interview practice with Shopify, our platinum partner. Teams will also work with the curriculum designer to develop an implementation plan for the projects that were pitched in phase 1. Phase 3 will take place over 1 weekend from December 16 to 18 in 2022. This phase will be a hackathon where teams will use the implementation plan to create a prototype of their solution. Students will receive assistance and guidance from coaches and mentors. At the end of the hackathon, these projects will be presented to a panel of judges and prizes will be awarded to the winners in specific categories. After the program is completed, students will be paired one-on-one with mentors for career coaching and personal guidance.
Now let's talk about some frequently asked questions about the application process. So the first question would be, when are applications for Stemming Up program due? So for this year, the applications are due June 30th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The second frequently asked questions we get are, what are some tips to succeed on the application? So our advice would be to first highlight your enthusiasm for STEM and to show your engagement in extracurricular involvements, whether that be in STEM extracurriculars or really any extracurriculars to show that you are involved in the community. Furthermore, we recommend that you keep a backup copy of your application and most importantly, know why you want to join. So be sure to convey what you want to learn from the program and why that is important to you. And the final frequently asked question is, am I able to get volunteer hours from the program? And the answer is yes. So by completing the program, you're able to receive all 40 of your compulsory volunteer hours. So Stemming Up provides a fun and easy way to receive these hours.
All right, so now that we have a brief refresher about the Stemming Up and what it's all about, allow me to introduce to you our panel today. So yes, we have a panel today. Allow me to introduce Christina, Jada, Carmen, and Jessica to the panel. So I am going to ask a couple of questions and I'm hoping to get the best answers. I'm so excited about this. Thank you so much all for being here. So let's start with we have Jada and then we have Carmen that were former students in our program. So I'm going to ask both of you to answer this question. So how did Stemming Up and Revolution help you gain exposure to STEM? And let's just go with Carmen first, because that's the one I see right now.
Yeah, for sure. So prior to being in Stemming Up, as I was in Stemming Up last year, I didn't really have a lot of experience in really building coding projects either independently or as a part of the team. And so when I joined the STEMing Up program last summer, like the hands-on approach and the supportive community that the program offers has enabled me to really blossom on my technical and soft skills, which I believe would be really hard to do if I didn't have this sort of opportunity. And these are skills that have really enabled me to be more confident in my leadership skills and really ignited my passion to pursue STEM in university.
Thank you, Carmen. And Jada?
Yeah, so like Carmen was saying, I think definitely having the support and the community around you. I joined Stemming Up in 2019, and prior to that, I'd only taken like one computer science course at school. So I didn't have like a big background in computer science, and it wasn't really like a field that I was considering. But after Stemming Up, then I was able to gain confidence in my like technical abilities and also gain that community and that sense of support from other like-minded students, as well as the coaches and mentors who were so helpful. And since then, I've stayed involved with Revolution, and that's also led me to a lot of opportunities in the industry and being able to help other youth and girls that have similar interests.
If I can follow up on that, Jada, you were involved with us after the seminar program as an ambassador. Then you were the one that helped put together the curriculum for the GoSTEM program in 2020. Then last year you were involved with Revolution as a coordinator for the seminar program. And then this year you were hired to help develop the curriculum for seminar program, which is, how do you feel about that? How do you feel about that? What is that like?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like going full circle. But I think definitely it's like I was able to see myself grow a lot since I first got involved with Revolution, because with Stemming Up, like I kind of came into it, I didn't really know anything about Revolution or know that much about like the tech industry either. So it's definitely allowed me the chance to learn a lot about myself and also about like the industry and broaden my own skills, as well as, get to make so many amazing connections and get to know everyone in the community as well.
Thank you, Jada. Christina, you were a coach involved in our program in 2021, right? Yeah, last year. Was it last year or in 2020?
Both. 2020 and 2021.
Oh, amazing. So that was a great experience, I hope. So the question that I have for you, what barriers have you faced in pursuing STEM career education? And why programs like STEMing Up that are specifically geared towards minorities in STEM are so important?
So I actually transitioned to tech from hospitality. So I think one of the barriers is that you need experience. Like, a lot of people in the industry, they want you to have experience. And that was kind of my question at that time, like, how do I get the experience to be able to go into the tech field? So Stemming Up, I think, offers such an incredible opportunity because you actually work on projects and you network and you connect with people in the industry, and you kind of create a path for yourself to get into the industry and to have a project under your belt and show this is what I've done. I think one of the great things that I've seen is that you really create that environment of working for a tech company, to say the least. So you kind of do the same that you would do when you actually work in a job in the field. So having that exposure and working on the problems and the projects that you would be working if you were in the field gives a lot of the attendees of the program a leg up and gives them that experience to break into the industry when they're ready to do it.
Oh, thank you so much, Christina. Jessica, I have a question for you. You worked with us last year as one of the coding trainers in the program. So what was that experience like for you to actually teach young women, which is not much younger than you compared to you and I? You were like, what was that experience like? Did you find it to be extremely challenging? Were you surprised in a good or bad way? Do you mind sharing all of that with us?
For sure. So, you can hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So overall, I was actually very genuinely surprised. And I believe we all talked about this before too. Just because I kind of maybe expected like okay, maybe I'd have to teach and like they might not pick up like what I'm teaching, or like I might be facing a lot of challenges, or maybe sometimes like students will join the program and like they might not be as interested, so they just don't really enjoy it. But what I noticed, at least with like the group of kids that I was teaching, or the group of girls, everybody was very, very interested. Like they just wanted to learn more, and they asked questions like that I haven't even like thought of before, or like that wasn't even part of the curriculum, and they wanted to learn about that as well. So I think overall, like it was an amazing experience. Like I'm so thankful that even had the opportunity to teach such young, beautiful girls. And like I also know now that in the future when they go into STEM, like I got to play like a little role in like their journey throughout the whole thing. So I think the whole experience was amazing, and I'm very thankful for it as well.
Thank you. Yes, actually, I can testify to that because after the program was finished in phase one, you joined as a coach. You did not want to let us go, which was like really
I
I was really grateful for that. So
know.
how did you find the you were a trainer working with the participants to teach them how to code, and then you join in phase two as a coach to help them actually develop their learning into more hands-on. So what was that like?
It was, at least for me at the time, it was a little bit difficult because of everything that was going on with me. But other than that, as far as like the program itself, I think it was actually a really good opportunity for them to take what they learned and the concepts and everything and then actually apply it to a real life situation. And as I believe Christina mentioned before, it just kind of adds like as a project under their belt for them to be able to use like as experience in the future. Like I can say when I was applying for internships, um, they asked like what experience do I have? Do I have any projects or anything to show? And I was able, since I did do a lot of side projects, I was able to talk about that. So just because that second phase involved actually really implementing everything that they learned, they just get to enhance like, okay, yes, like what I learned is actually in my mind now, and I get to like talk about it in the future when I'm applying for internships or like anything in general.
Yeah,
So
thank you.
yeah, it was a
Thank
good
you for that. Yeah,
opportunity.
thank you so much for that. One thing I'm going to add, this year we'll have the same phase one, and then we're not going to have phase two like we did last year for such a long period of time. We will include a little bit more technical skills, no, sorry, technical interviews, a lot of that practice.
Oh,
So we can do more mock-ups so you can learn how to apply for more technical jobs. And then we're going to have a hackathon where they get to apply the learning there. So it's going to be far less extensive, but still a
yeah,
lot of learning involved. So I'm very excited about that.
no, that's really
Uh,
good actually.
yeah, thank you. Okay, so now I have a question for all of you. So the question I have is, what key takeaways did you gain from your time involved in STEMing Up? And what would you say is the most special or memorable part of the program? So let's start with Jada, because I see her at the top.
So I remember in the year that I joined Stemming Up, a lot of the guest speakers we had were entrepreneurs. So I think at that point, I'd never really thought of, starting anything myself. It was sort of like, well, that's something you do after you got a full like post-secondary education, and then you need like all these other qualifications. But then I think that really inspired me to sort of be able to, seize more opportunities, and sort of pursue my own interests and goals, whether that's like in STEM or even in other fields, like starting my own projects, like writing, things like that. And I guess I would say that's probably the biggest thing I took away from being in the Stemming Up program specifically. But even beyond that, like the level of, I guess, confidence that inspired in me, like being able to go into tech was sort of what led me to studying computer science and my own sort of career trajectory now. So I think that's definitely probably my biggest takeaway.
Thank you, Jada. Let's go with Carmen.
Yeah, so kind of like Jada, like for me, the biggest takeaway, at least from my involvement stemming up as a student last year, was it was so amazing just to kind of network with, other students, coaches, coding trainers, and just to learn from and with them was like it proved to be astronomical in the way I approach education and just in general, like how I want to kind of pass that down to like other people I hopefully get to mentor in the future, because like getting so much exposure to different perspectives and different ideas and different backgrounds, it really broadened my perspective on not only just in STEM but just other industries as well. And I feel like that really helped open my mind to like different career paths I want to take potentially in the future alongside STEM. And as for like the most memorable part of the program, I would have to say demo day for sure. Basically, like my team and I, we kind of presented our project mock-up to like judges and stuff, and it was so rewarding to see my own team like help each other and just presenting all the hard work we have done so far. And it was again so inspiring to see what other students have created as well.
Thank you, Carmen. Christina.
Yeah, so I want to speak to the most memorable moments of the project. I think I have two in my mind. So first one is, every time when new students come into a cohort, they're very shy, and the first session is very kind of like people feel a bit awkward. But then you have this moment, I think, in about like second or third session when you just see them being so enthusiastic and the ideas come to life, and you kind of like the light bulb just like comes up, and just being part of that moment and noticing of what's happening. I think that was very memorable to see the transition as to Jada's point, the confidence that comes into, into the student's mind. And also, of course, the demo day. I think, working together for such, a long time, there's a lot of a lot of, speakers that students go to. And there's a lot of work that goes into those 4 weeks. And then coming together to demo day, everybody's scrambling before to kind of have it all ready, and seeing that excitement that, oh my gosh, we did this. So I think those two memorable, the moment of realization that, hey, we can actually do this. We have these ideas, we have the help. Let's work together to make it happen. And then the end of the actual making it happening and seeing it, having it on YouTube and having it live. I think as a mentor and as a coach, I think it's for us is such a joyful moment as well, as we came and we got involved in this project. But it's just very beautiful, and it makes us enthusiastic and excited that we were just a small part of the students' journey.
Thank you. And Jessica.
So I think I'd like, as far as like kind of the key takeaways I gained from the Stemming Up program as like a coding instructor, I think it would probably be how important it is to teach everything like kind of we learn. Like learned coding like through teachers, professors, and then a lot of it on my own as well. But I think being able to share that with like the next generation, especially with like such young women who can actually help like close like that gender gap that I've like physically seen in like classrooms where like there's barely any women, and like there's a huge field of just men or guys. But I think it's really nice that just like the value and importance of being able to teach like the next generation, and then hopefully they value it kind of the same way we do, and then they go on and teach it, so it's just kind of like a ripple effect like through that. And then as far as like the most memorable moment, it would be demo day, but I think for me it would personally be that last session that I had with like the girls that I was teaching. I think Jada and Carmen might remember. um it was such a bittersweet moment because I genuinely had so much fun teaching them, and I hope they had fun as well. But it was just nice that I know that like we all gotta go on and like apply everything we learned, but it was also like I just wish like it wasn't 4 weeks and it was a little bit longer, but it was amazing. I think that was like probably one of the best group of girls like I've ever taught. So
Thank you, Jessica. All right, so now I'm going to ask each and every one of you to give me something that I'm super curious about. And I want to see like from different perspective as a former participant, as a trainer, as a coach, you know, what was the one thing that actually made you want to get involved? Like what made you want to sign up for the program? What made you want to coach? What made you want to apply as a trainer for for the program to teach the participants? So let's start with Jessica, and then we're gonna go backwards.
So I remember I mentioned this when I was getting going through like the hiring process. I believe you asked why I applied for this role specifically. And when I haven't heard about Hervolution before, but when I did do my research on it and I realized it was a program that like just focused on teaching young women, I just thought that was amazing that like Dora was even able to like make all of that come to life, like that vision and everything. Um, so I think that's what really kind of attracted me more to the role, that we get to kind of help, like as a coding instructor, like I would be able to help like close that gender gap. Like I know for me, I went to an only girls high school. So when I was in my computer science classes, like it was normal, like just seeing all girls all around. But I know not every girl is fortunate enough to see that. Like sometimes, like if they wanted to join a computer science class or computer studies in high school, it would kind of be intimidating because I may be like the only girl in the room while everybody else is a guy. So I feel like through this program, um, like I knew I would be able to at least give enough confidence by like already teaching the concepts. And then if they did want to join computer studies in high school or pursue it in the future, they wouldn't be as intimidated, like, okay, am I going to be good enough? Or like, should I drop out or anything like that? So I think that's what honestly really, really attracted me to this
Thank you.
role.
Thank you, Jessica. As a fun fact, fun, take it as you wish, but as a fact, at Her Revolution, we always want to bring as many female, role models. And so our goal was to hire as many women as possible. And one thing that I found really, I would say, questionable is, we had eight positions to fill. We're hoping to fill them all with women. And we had 4 days that we're interviewing for the roles. And for 2.5 days, I interviewed men. And then for a day and a half,
Oh,
I interviewed a mix of men and women. Still managed to hire 6 women and 2 men. It was a really good decision, but it's like so important. I'm going to put a message out there to all the young women. Sorry, I know this is supposed to be about seminar, but I really care about this. So all women out there, when you have some knowledge and you see any posting, apply for it, even if you don't have all 100% of the skills, because not only do you get to teach the young women, but you get to inspire them, so we need to see more role models. So I thank you for applying last year. Appreciate that, for inspiring the girls. Thank you, Jessica.
thank you for hiring me.
Yeah, of course. Christina.
Yeah, so I think looking back even now at the past 2 years that I've been a coach for the teams, stemming up is more than doing a project and coming together and completing a project together. It's really about building confidence and young women to, find the confidence, find the leadership skills. So that's kind of what was the reason why I wanted to get involved. I never really thought I'll be into tech. And then when I got into tech, it took me a long time to not feel so insecure, or, it took me a long time to build that confidence, to have that, to stand on my own 2 feet, and to really feel like I belong there. But for that, really, it needs a lot of communication skills, a lot of mentorship. So every time you kind of like you're in high school or come out of college, it's kind of a lot of us need a little bit of help. And the reason why I wanted to get involved, because I've been there and I know how difficult it was. So I wanted to help students to, this is what I've learned. This is what you can apply in your experience and in, how you can get into the industry. Yeah, so it really goes beyond being a project. It's all about building that confidence, and we talk about underrepresented and minorities, but you want to kind of rise above that and kind of like build the confidence and the communication skills, and to kind of assert and say, hey, I know this is what I've learned, and I know that I can do this. So getting to that I can do this, in my experience as a coach, it takes a little while because obviously there's a lot of insecurity going around as well. So just being part of that, I just knew that this is such an incredible opportunity to be able to empower young women, to find their power and strength in, it's in professional life where they are getting into, but also it really trickles down to the personal life as well.
Yeah, thank you, Christina. If I can add to that, coaches actually play such an important role because they are with the participants throughout the program, and they get to see where they start and where they end. And the participants get to feel like now they are familiarized with you. They get to feel more comfortable to even ask questions versus having someone they just meet once. And then they're gone, and they have to start all over. So having to practice that, maybe after they gain the confidence from the program, they'll be able to just be okay with meeting people for just one time and get whatever answers that they have to their questions. But you guys as coaches are invaluable to the success of the program. I'm not going to speak for the students, but I speak from the one I see as an outsider, as planning the program and executing and seeing the students succeed. We wouldn't be able to do that without the coaches. So thank you so much for joining. I appreciate it. All right, now we're going to go to Carmen. So Carmen, what made you sign up for the program?
Yeah, so like a little bit of background about myself. Like I come from like a low income background, and like as a person of color, it was really hard for me to find other people that had the same interest in STEM as me. And I can attest to like what Jessica said about sometimes like when you join coding classes or like other coding extracurriculars, you might not see or like be able to network with other like-minded people because of like us being underrepresented. And so that itself was kind of a barrier in kind of my STEM journey. And so when I found out about Revolution, I was like, I really resonated with the mission of Revolution brought, because not only was its program affordable to people like myself who come from an underprivileged background, but it also emphasized on mentorship and most importantly, developing the technical and soft skills that students in the program had. And so that was why I wanted to join the program. And now working in the Stemming Up committee, like we're helping to plan the Stemming Up program for this year. It was amazing. It was almost like coming again, as Jaden mentioned, full circle, because I was once a student and now I'm able to kind of help and give as much background and insight as I can to help make the program more accessible to people like myself who might just need a little bit of that mentorship in order to fully get going in their STEM journey. And so I'm really appreciative of the time and all of the experiences I've had at Stemming Up and Revolution, and I hope to continue that in the future.
Thank you, Carmen. I'm going to add to this, when students come into our programs, they think we're just going to join the program. When it's done, it's done. It's not over. You just join the program and then you come back into the committee. And then there's so many other opportunities in, with Revolution is basically, we have someone like Jada, where she's going to testify, like she's been with us for a long time, and we're not ready to let go because there are so many layers to, to the process of you getting to where you need to go. And if there's anything that we can do, we're always here to support. So yeah, you come and join the seminar program, but then after that, you come and you be part of the committee, and then you can be part of another program if you're interested. And then next, you can sit at the youth committee, and then you can come to our board, and you can actually make decisions for the organizations to make sure that we really are pushing our mission forward. So it's like once you're done, which hopefully never, because then you can come back and mentor young women, you know what I mean? So it's like it's one of those things where you never have to, you don't need to leave Revolution unless you feel like this, I really have no capacity. But, and one of the main messages that I like to, instill in so many participants is like, when you go out there in the world, Even if you're not coming back at Revolution, make sure that you support as many young women as possible. And we're the other age. You have Harvard, you have Revolution. We start with age too. So it's like when you see Revolution on somebody's resume, make sure you reach out and you're like, you guys are peers that have been through very similar experiences in our program. So just wanted to actually add that. So Jada, with you, what made you sign up for the program? What not only made you sign up for the program, then come back as an ambassador, then just you worked as a coordinator. Now you are like, yeah, sure, I'm just gonna help with the curriculum. So all of these layers, what made you say yes to all of this?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the biggest aspects is that the doors are actually open. Like a lot of programs like I've joined or like other extracurriculars I've done, it's like you finish the program and then that's it. And then you have to like seek out other opportunities. But I find like with Revolution, it was the Stemming Up program concluded, and then working with the mentor, then I was able to sort of expand on those skills that I gained during the program. And then from there, then I was thinking, like, okay, well, what can I do with these? And then I heard about the ambassadors program, and then I heard about GoSTEM. So it was like the opportunities are provided to the students. And then from there, then I was able to actually see like, this is chances that I want to take, and these are things I want to pursue. For, I guess, initially joining Stemming Up, I know Jessica mentioned the gender gap, and I didn't go to an all-girls high school, so for me that was really apparent. Even in like my computer science class, it was majority guys. Even now, like in a computer science program, and even just like last semester, one of my classes, I walk in the room because we went in person. So I walked in the room and it was literally me and one other student, and everyone else was guys, including the professor. So it's like very clear that the gender gap is there. So being able to specifically, work with and support other like minority groups in STEM, like girls or non-binary youth, was important to me. And especially being able to, give back what I gained from the program, I think was one of the biggest reasons why I decided I wanted to, continue staying involved.
Thank you, Jada. I'm so excited that you said yes to all of these opportunities. I'm very excited to be able to work with you. All right, I have two more questions that I wanted to ask the panel. One is, from all perspectives, what is something you would recommend future participants to do to get the most out of this time in the program? And let's start again with Jessica, and then we go back up again.
I think, and I know I mentioned this like during my classes as well when I was teaching the girls, that I think the concepts that you learn and then making sure that you practice and apply them, whether it's through even like very small projects, like any like little short activity or anything, that's like the most important thing, especially with coding, that you can possibly do to just make sure that and ensure that you're actually learning what you were taught. So I think that was definitely like a key piece of advice that I would give out.
Yeah, thank you, Jessica. Christina.
If there's one piece of advice, I think definitely take initiative and really be involved in the program. It's only like you start with 4 weeks. You're a lot of students, they will learn so much out of this program. Just be there 100% from start to end. Be involved with your peers and the community. I think that's be here because this is a great opportunity to learn so much in such a short amount of time. Network with your other students and with mentors and with trainers as well. Yeah, because really you get out of it what you put in. And as much as if you can do as much as possible and enjoy the process as well, because we talk about it is hard work, but it's fun and interesting, and it's a lot of learning experience that are getting out of it. So use those 4 weeks to really learn and be involved and be present into the program. because at the end, I mean, the rewards are really amazing, and you feel it after all the hard work you put in. At the end, you're like, wow, we did this. So that feeling of you were able to create something because you got involved into it and you were part of something. It's really a beautiful, rewarding feeling at the end. So definitely be present, be here, and get initiative. Don't be afraid. You know, it's all a trial and error for all of us. Yeah, I promise the rewards are going to be really amazing.
Thank you, Christina. Carmen.
Yeah, similar to Christina, I would recommend like future participants again to not be afraid to network and connect with not only your fellow peers but also your coaches, mentors, and speakers as well. I know when I was a student in the seminar program last year, like in the first couple of days in the program, I was really scared and hesitant to message, you know, students in my coding class, or especially like my coaches and mentors as well, just because I almost felt intimidated for some odd reason. Maybe it was because of the fact that prior to stemming up last year, I've never been in a summer program with like other like-minded youth, and so I was scared to make a bad first impression, if you wanted to put it that way. And so my biggest piece of advice is don't be scared of that. Like all of the people in the program, that they're to help you and to give you more insight, not only about STEM but also about your life, or just really any advice that you ask for. I'm sure that they'll be there to help and support you. So do not be shy to ask them for help, or to even have like a copy chat at some point, because again, everyone in this program, from my experience, they've been so supportive in helping me to get where I am. And so I'm sure that for students in the program in the future, they will have like the similar experience as well.
Thank you, Carmen. Jada.
Yeah, I think like Carmen was saying, I think the most important thing is like, don't be afraid to ask questions. Like everyone is there to support you and they want to see you succeed. I know for me, I was always very scared of like, I don't want to bother them, or like, I don't want to ask a stupid question. But it's like, people are not gonna, say you asked a stupid question. Like they want to help you, and people like to share what they know. They like to share their own knowledge or their own opinions. So in general, like it's just take chances and like go for it. Just like don't be afraid to try and share your own thoughts, and with your peers and with your coaches and mentors, and just everyone wants to see you succeed.
Absolutely, that is all true. All the mentors, all the coaches, all the trainers, everyone is there to support you. So obviously ask questions. And all the other peers, before you ask the questions, instead of thinking, what if that sounds stupid, you might want to think, I'm sure that another person has the same question. So if with one answer, we'll answer, the question for more than one person. So that's always the way to go. And I like to think that we create a culture here where we have that, we don't have the hierarchy, we're more linear, we're all equal here. So no one, you might find out that sometimes you ask a coach a question and the coach may not have the answer and they have to go ask somebody else. So it's not, we don't all know it all, and that's okay, so thank you guys. All right, one last question. So what is one piece of advice that you would give to any individual that are just starting out on their STEM journey? Let's go back to Jada and then go back down.
Yeah, so starting out on their STEM journey, I guess for me, the biggest thing was I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I would say the best piece of advice I can give is just try things out. Like explore if you have opportunities, or look for opportunities like Stemming Up or like other programs or like other things at Revolution. But just explore and don't be afraid to try things, especially while you're a student or while you're just starting out. Like you can take chances and there's not as much riding on it. And it's okay to not succeed at first, but just make sure to keep trying different things, and then you're able to figure out what you actually want to do and what you want to pursue.
Thank you, Jada. Carmen?
I honestly resonate with Jada's advice as well. Just adding on to that, nothing. I would say like my experience so far, because I'm entering post-secondary next year, like it is really important to get into the mindset that even if you're committed to like a specific program or a specific field of study, sometimes your opinions and your interests might change, right? And so keeping an open mind, I find is really helpful because it doesn't limit you mentally into thinking, oh, you're only able to do this certain field and only this certain career path, let's say, for example. In reality, like as Jada mentioned, like the experiences, the people that you meet, and the projects that you might work on or might come across, it really helps to define what career path or what interests you might have. So just keeping all avenues open, I find, would help you eventually find something that you're really passionate about. And furthermore, like specifically, I guess for STEM or really any career in general, like again, don't give up in the face of adversity, especially if you're learning something new or something that you've never come across. Again, don't feel scared to like reach out to people who are in the field or do know about the stuff you're trying to learn about right now. And honestly, Google is your best friend. So even if it might seem intimidating to start Googling on how to do certain stuff, like make sure you're able to do proper research and to formulate like a little bit of a plan to make sure that you're keeping on track of your learning.
Thank you, Carmen. Christina.
Yeah, I fully echo Jada and Carmen. Embrace the journey. I know we like to have things very clear and kind of figure it out, but the reality is a lot of us don't have it figured out. And even after you get into the industry, a lot of people still are not sure, do I want to work in this field or in this field, or do I want to switch to a different department or a different department? So really, there's never going to be really a full clarity, or it will, but a lot of the times will come with time. So as the girl said, really embrace that journey and try different things. There's a lot of trial and error. I think there's a lot of expectation and a lot of pressure to have it figure out like straight out of school. The truth is, a lot of us that are working in the field, we're still trying, like we're still figuring it out, and that's the beauty of the journey. It's a lot of fun. I look at it in a very fun way. Yes, you start like this, but then you discover so much more as you gain more experience and you are part of a different projects, and your path kind of gets redirected in the direction that you are leaning in naturally, and it's nothing wrong about this. It's actually a very beautiful feeling that you're being redirected in the path that you need to go. So there might not be a lot of clarity right away, but really you're going to learn so much along the way. So having an unclear path, it's okay. Embrace the journey, try different things, and eventually you will get to where you want to get. But also enjoy the path and have fun in the middle as well. But that's kind of the biggest piece of advice. Go with the flow, and it will take you right where you need to go.
Thank you, Christina. And Jessica.
I feel like Jada, Christina, and Carmen have mentioned it all, but and I completely agree with every single thing that they said. I think it's just really important. Like I know sometimes it's intimidating, like thinking like, oh, you might need experience like in order to enter a new field, but I don't think you do. I believe like networking, I think that's like one of like the most important factors in anything. So I think try reaching out. Like if you know someone is in like a specific field that you're trying to get into like within STEM, I think just try reaching out, ask questions that you may have. And I think Carmen mentioned it before as well. Like Google is your best friend, as well as YouTube. Like I'm almost done my undergrad in computer engineering, and I think I may have learned a lot off of YouTube more than like what my professors have maybe taught me. So, and there's like unlimited resources out there as well. So anything you could possibly think of, like just be open to wanting to try new things and not like limiting yourself like basically into a box. So try just stepping a little bit out of your comfort zone, be open to try new things, and I think that will hopefully guide you where you need to go or where you want to be at one point in your life. And as Christina mentioned, just truly enjoy the journey. It is a journey. So it's not always about the destination, I think. It's more who you meet along the way, like, and just making sure like you're truly happy, like doing whatever you're doing. So I think that is something I would definitely advise anyone who's trying to maybe switch careers or enter like STEM or tech or anything like that.
Thank you, Jessica. I'm going to add to this. Personally, I think, especially our participants, they're still in high school. Man, try as many programs as possible. Come into STEM Up, register for another program, come back to Revolution for other programs, and even, in the committee, because you learn so many different things. And you don't need to know just one thing to get into STEM. You don't just need to know coding to get into STEM. There's so many other things. So nothing that you try is going to go to waste. Everything that you try, all the program that you're going to register for, there's just going to somehow benefit you. You can pick a little bit from this program, a little bit from that program, a little bit from that program, and somehow it's just going to, get you to have like a whole areas of expertise. And I've also noticed that a lot of participants, they focus, I want to be this in the future, and what do I need to learn? It goes back to trying them all, because the thing is, there are jobs now that didn't exist 10 years ago, and people didn't know what to study, you know what I mean? So you always have to learn, so be open-minded to or learn new things at all areas of your life. So you're going to learn something in this program, or you're going to learn something in other programs that's going to add to your, to your portfolio. But also, as you go and as you start working, there's always room for improvement. So, and then you get to learn new things. And I'm a great example. I come from social work background, and I run an organization for women in STEM when I don't even know how to code. You don't need to know how to code to do something, right? So the thing is, like, I guess what I'm trying to say, don't be limited by just because you don't have the certain skills to be, you can't do something, you're able to do it. So if you want to start your STEM journey, just start by trying as many programs as possible, network with as many people, basically what everybody said here today. So with that said, I wanted to open up the questions. We have a couple of participants here of audience. So if you have any questions, if you want to add that to chat, or if you want to unmute yourself and you can ask questions, feel free to unmute yourself if you want to, or add up to chat. Okay, we'll wait a little bit in case it takes a bit of time to type. So, but yeah, with all of that, I'm actually very excited for this year's program with all the things we have to offer. Any questions? Not all at once, like I like to say in the program. I was like, not all at once, everybody. Okay. So when will we know if we have been accepted in the program? Great question, Shifa. So you will, deadline for the application is the 30th of June, and program starts July 25th. And you should know, like, all this process, the acceptance, it will take probably about 2 weeks. So we watch your email. We're gonna communicate with you via email. We might have extra questions, or if there's any other things that we might need from you, but you will have notification about 2 weeks before the program starts, or like basically it's about within about 2 weeks after you apply, after the deadline. Yeah. I have summer school which ends on the 20th of July. How can I balance the classes? I am not sure what your program, your summer school hours are, but the hours for the program, the seminar program in the summer, it starts 10 to 11. You're going to have the theory. Then there's a break. There will be about 2.5 hours of coding if there's a break that we added in between. And then after that, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, it will be an extra hour that you get to work with your team. And then you also get to work with the coaches. And our program starts the 25th. So you have about 4 days. And if you want to join the program the 25th and you get to miss a couple of classes, what usually we ask the participants to do is communicate with the team. Usually when there's we record the sessions in the morning, so you get to watch that. Then you get to the coding sessions, you might need to kind of ask your trainer to see if they can accommodate to catch you up. And then with the team, you get to read the meeting minutes. So the team gets, they take minutes. So they get to document everything that they discussed in their meetings to see what happens. And then you can take it from there. So it's all about communicating and coordinating with your team at that point. Any other questions? The penalties of missing classes. There is no stipend this year. So this year what we're changing about the program, we're not offering a stipend, but we're offering a cash reward at the end for the hackathon. So it's basically there will not be a penalty. The only thing that is required, if you're missing, we will ask you to coordinate with your team. If your team at this point, they figure out that you're not participating, you're missing too many of the sessions and you're not contributing to the team, we might need to have to tell you to come back next year when you have more time to be able to participate. But it's about up to you to figure out kind of how to coordinate that with your team.
But I think if it's only 4 days, then like as long as you're proactive and just make sure you communicate, then it's like you're definitely able to balance it.
Yeah. All right. Any other questions? Not all at once. All right, well, if you don't have any questions right now, and if you do have questions later, you do know that you can reach out to us. We'll have the information later on slides here. So I am going to end this session today, and just wanted to extend a thank you to our partners and sponsor who allow to make this program possible. We really are offering, so this year we are offering scholarships. So we encourage everyone to apply for scholarship. If you're low income, you obviously get to come in the program for free or no cost. If you're not necessarily considered low income, we provide partial scholarships for that. So reach out to us with any questions that you have, but we want to thank our partners for making this happen. And then with that, I want to say thank you to everyone who has participated today. And do please feel free to reach out to us. You can send us an email at stemming.up@hervolution.org, or you can follow us on social media, on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and I believe we will have a Discord link that we will add to the description of this recording later on YouTube. So with that, I want to say thank you so much to everyone, and I am very grateful that you're here, and thank you.